Hello, everyone. I'm Captain Logan, and look, it's Austin the Day Ghost.
What's up? We're talking comics.
We are. I'm so excited to talk new comics again, Austin. So, in lieu of the Superhero Rewind commentary tonight, we decided to do an impromptu, fun, laid back stream, just looking at stuff coming out over the next few weeks in comics and kind of educating ourselves a little bit in what's happening right now. I've been real out of the loop for a long time, and I'm just now kind of dipping my toes back into it. And I thought I would share this experience with our audience that cares about comics and wants us to start talking about this stuff again. And what kind of lit a fire under me, Austin, was two different things. The first, or one of them, I should say, is just you're getting us to talk about Absolute Batman.
hmm
Because I didn't expect to like that at all, and I ended up liking it even a lot more than you did. And I was like, oh
Yeah,
god,
that's true.
all of a sudden I want to see what else is happening right now. It got me excited, and you and everybody else is telling me how much better even all the other ultimate or absolute books are. And I really liked that one, and so I was like, I want to look at this now. And then I guess it's kind of three things, because then just before that, I ended up getting this big comic collection that Brandon found at a yard sale for me for $60. It was 800 books, bunch of key issues, bunch of really good stuff, probably $800 worth of comics that I ended up getting for $60. Thanks again to Brandon. We spent 2.5 hours on stream going through those books, and obviously not bringing new stuff there, but just like kind of got me excited about collecting again. And then the third thing is there's this wonderful store that I've been shopping at, and quick plug to them for the three of you that might ever visit the Kansas City area. But Nerdstalgia, which is in Overland Park, their 151st and Metcalf, and they're actually featured in our movie. So you'll see their store actually in the Superhero Rewind movie, and not, I guess I keep giving things away about that movie, but there's a comic shop in the movie somewhere. And anyway, they are wonderfully reasonably priced, and I've been becoming friends with them, and it's just fun to shop there. And I still like Elite. That's the store I used to go to, but this place is really convenient, and nothing against William or anything, but this place is just their stuff's really priced to sell, and it's really nice to see that. So check out Elite too. That's also a wonderful store. But I'm shopping at Nostalgia now more, and they happen to be in the same parking lot that my son's dance is at. So I'm over there all the time, and I'll show you some things that I got there recently, and I'll tell you a story about a really neat deal he cut me. But anyway, Austin, thanks for joining me stupid late at night to talk
No
about new
worries.
comics.
No worries. No, and while you were saying that about the Absolute Batman thing, I remembered something I forgot to tell you, which is when I was listening to the new Rob Liefeld interview with Mark Millar, there's a part where he brings up Absolute Batman and how much he loves it, and he's just like, Mark, let me tell you, he's got a symbol, and he pulls it off, and it's an axe, and he cuts freaking people's hands off, and he's like going off about it. I'm like, oh my god, I was so right calling it. Just imagine Rob Liefeld created Batman. He's like just gushing about it, and I'm like, yeah, because these are all the choices he would make.
That's awesome. Yeah,
It's
the
very
difference
funny.
is it's got the story to back it up.
Exactly, exactly.
As I said when we reviewed that, individually, almost every single choice I think is stupid, but you put it all together and somehow it works.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Good job, Scott Snyder. I haven't liked you in a decade. I haven't read everything Scott Snyder's done in a decade, to be fair. So, again, I've been real out of the loop. So we're gonna bring up things that some of you guys, if you've been paying attention to new, will know about and might think it's weird that I'm not familiar with. Austin will know probably more than I will because he's been keeping up with some current over what Austin the last couple of years. You've kind of gotten back into it.
Yeah, yeah, I'd say that probably like 2023, like kind of really relights that fire in me. Like a little bit before that, for just comics in general, just like being like just always reading, and
Yeah.
then 2023 is when I go, okay, like I'm jumping back into current stuff.
And I've known for a while that there's been cool stuff happening that I would probably appreciate. And don't get me wrong, I'm sure going all the way back to when I dropped off, there's still been things worth reading in comics. And people tell me about uh, good like creator-owned things at Image, especially quite a bit. And I have not, to be fair, dipped my toe into anything that's not a property I'm already familiar with since I started looking at stuff again, and I could absolutely use people's suggestions for that stuff. And
Mhm.
when we're looking at titles tonight, we'll be looking at that stuff also. And I'm gonna read synopses, and when I find things that I think look really interesting, I'm gonna make a list of them. Austin, I pulled up a folder, and I'm just gonna drag covers into a folder to go back
Mhm.
and look at later.
Oh, cool.
I was just gonna make a written list, and then it occurred to me that part of what I'm doing, because Austin and I read and collect differently. So Austin, real quick, tell everybody how you like consume comics now, because you and I do
Okay,
this
yeah.
somewhat differently.
Yeah, so I've always been just a trade guy where it's like I never collected monthly issues. I probably own maybe 50 just single issues, and they're all things I've been given. That's just always how comics have been for me. And then starting with Skybound Transformers, that was when I was like, oh, I'll pick up that number one because it's Transformers and I like that. But at this point, I'm also, I would say maybe like a year after COVID, or maybe like in 2020, I like fully moved to digital. So I read like entirely on Comixology or Marvel Unlimited. But with Transformers, I was like, okay, I'll pick up that number one, and again digitally. I was going to pick it up in print, and I kind of wish I did at this point because that's an issue that goes for a bit now. Not in like a uh, cash cow like '90s thing, but just in a like I kind of wish I had that. But that's whatever.
Well, I've
Eh,
got that with Absolute Batman now.
oh sure, yeah, I'm sure that's another one.
I did buy a
Uh,
single issue of Transformers the other day though,
yes,
because
yes, you did.
I like that
Uh,
book. So like I don't collect Transformers. That's
mhm,
not a property that I typically like care to have merchandise from. My son Mikey does, but
mhm,
I could not help myself. There's a couple of covers that I loved so much when we read that in digital that I kind of want to get.
mhm. But yeah, Skybound like really kicks off my like buying monthly in that you get all the Transformers stuff, and then that is a gateway for me to try Void Rivals, which is the Kirkman original book that's in that universe, and then obviously like the GI Joe stuff. You have all of their Universal Monster books that are going right now, like just a ton of. That is just Robert Kirkman is a man of my own heart. What can I say?
And he's like always good,
Mhm.
or at least I've not read anything Kirkman that I wasn't impressed with. He's like
Yeah.
Vaughn in that way. Never read a Vaughn thing that I didn't think was quality. I have to put an asterisk and
Mhm.
not say that I didn't like, because his sensibilities are not always my sensibilities, but I always respected.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
I'm not the biggest Saga guy, but like, did you review the first arc of that with me? I feel like we did that together.
For what, sorry?
Saga,
Oh, yes,
didn't we
yes,
do
we
that
did that.
together?
Yeah, I've been
And
meaning to
I appreciate
go
it a
back
lot
to that.
more now.
Yeah, and I want to go through that entire book, but I'm gonna get the compendiums, I think. So I'm gonna wait till I have like a bit to like drop on like a good chunk on that.
Yeah,
So,
that kind of stuff is great to get that way. Why
mhm,
I've got all in hardcover, the big thick
sure.
volumes. Dan's News bought me those years ago.
Mhm.
We reviewed about half of them, but yeah, that those kind of big, thick, kind of more cerebral things. For whatever reason, I like to have in trade more than I like to have in singles.
Yeah, when it's
Paper
something I
Girls
know
I
will
bought in
take me
singles
to
because I was
three.
getting that when it was coming out, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you're getting just a ton of comics in those compendiums. So that is the way I'll probably read through those.
Dan Schneider says I'm forgetting stuff I reviewed from this year. What did I mention that I'm forgetting?
Oh,
Just
probably
is it
Saga.
Saga?
Just like in that if I was there or not.
I was just making sure you were there with me, but I was pretty sure you were. Uh, but anyway, so the way I'm doing it is I'm reading mostly in digital, like several issues at a time. Mostly because, and I could even keep up month to month that way, but stuff just doesn't stick with me
Hmm.
when I do it that way. I find these days. I was going to ask you, Austin, if you have that problem at all, or does it maybe just depend on what you're
Shockingly,
reading?
well, this is just kind of always the way I've been. Like, I don't know. When I was like 14, I think I forget what book it was. It was maybe Fellowship of the Ring. I think I started that, read like 100 pages, put it down, and then a year later picked it up like it was nothing. Like I've always just kind of been like that, so I don't really have an issue month to month.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, yeah, there's maybe like I do find with Kirkman's book with Void Rivals, I am wanting to go back and reread it to like refresh myself on some details. But for the most part, I have an easy time going month to month.
So I don't mean to psychoanalyze myself when I say this, Austin, but I think a lot of it for me is the reviewing thing. Is like if
Mhm.
I don't feel like I can like fully articulate what's happening to an audience, it's like I don't remember it well enough to keep reading it. And if I wasn't
Mhm.
having to talk about, I don't talk about everything I read, but if I wasn't like often talking about things, I don't think I would have like psyched myself out that way.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just the way my brain's wired. Like even if I come in and I'm like I'm not really sure if I remember things, the second I start reading it and like start getting into characters and whatnot, I'm like, oh, okay, I remember where you were last time I read this.
Yeah, I think I get paranoid about it. Where like if I can't
Fair
immediately
enough.
recall stuff, I'm like, I have to reread it. I'm not like I don't even try.
Mhm. No, I mean, fair enough. I was worried about it, like about it though, just because, a, like I said, I've never done the month to month thing, but then
Yeah.
also, my pull list, if you can call it that, because it's digital, keeps getting bigger and bigger. So it's like, okay, when is the point where it's like, okay, now I've hit too many books, so now I don't remember things.
The way I'm gonna be doing it, or at least this is my plan right now, and this is all very, very new, and I'm on kind of a high right now, so I guess it's possible in a few weeks some of this wears off and I kind of go back to my old ways. I don't think I'm going to. It does feel like something's in the air right now with comics, and I want to be there for it. And I'm getting the sense that some of our audience is starting to come back that left around when I did. Like I'm not alone on this. There was a gap of a good number of years. I want to say kind of starting around 2016, 2017, where people just sort of lost interest in the medium in general, and especially the big two. And so what I'm kind of planning right now is reading stuff again in chunks, particularly for review. So when you and I are doing vaults, and some on my own when I've got time, I just sampling things in trade or continuing things that I'm liking that way. And when I say trade, I mean digital, but just like in chunks, and then buying single issues for things I really want to collect, and mostly just for cool covers and number ones of series that I think I'm going to like and care about, Austin, and that
Mhm.
might be more expensive to get down the road, or like when major stuff happens. But I'm not going to feel the need to buy every single issue in a run anymore, because I do still feel kind of priced out. And I said years ago, even back when we did the documentary trip, that was over 10 years now, I said once we hit the $5 mark, I'm out in buying everything I want to buy, and I really kind of meant just in buying physical, at all. I'm making the compromise now of stuff that I want to collect that would look nice on a rack. Uh, and so I will drop $5 for a really pretty cover, and I will collect them like trading cards. And that's kind of what I'm doing right now. And then the books that I really like that I'm reading digital, I will start collecting in trade. And so I'm gonna be kind of half and half. I'm gonna be some singles, uh, some trade. I'm going to double dip a little bit with like a couple of singles that I just love what they look like. Like I did this with Batman 89. I bought 3 covers of the first issue of Batman 89 because I just really like the covers, and so I'm buying
Mhm.
those to display and to look at. And then bought that in hardcover uh, to read. But then other stuff I just don't feel the need to really own. So I'm not going to do the pull list thing anymore. I'm going to go to the
Mhm.
shop, and I'm rarely even going to order anything. I'm going to go to the shop, and I'm going to look at the racks, and I'm going to give myself a limit of what I'll spend each week, and I'll buy maybe 3 or 4, and that's as much as I'm planning on doing.
Mhm.
So I'll keep
I
up
mean,
with
that's
more than
solid.
that, but that's what I'm going to physically buy. And I'm
Mhm.
not going to start getting into trades until I finish, or is my plan right now, until I finish recollecting Spawn in trade, because that's also part of what's getting me back into comics, is I'm finally doing that. I've had the first compendium volume for quite a while now, and for the longest time, I couldn't get excited about collecting that and replacing my collection. Because for those of you that don't know, I sold my single issues of Spawn years ago. I owned everything up to a certain point and bought a lot of it for Spawn year, and then I got a really good offer on it, and I sold that collection, and I've always kind of regretted that a little bit. And when I sold it, I went, well, these compendiums are starting to come out. I'm going to buy them in trade, and a lot of stuff has actually come back into print, Austin, that wasn't in print at that time. I
Mhm.
which is exciting, and of course then there's all that new stuff, and there's the question of if I'm going to collect all of it, because it's gotten kind of nuts, like this like new universe thing. It's a ridiculous amount of books, and it's also nuts how long they've got. Like Gunslinger is on like issue 41 or something. It's preposterous. And like Scorched has been going for a long time, and like I don't know if I'm gonna buy all of that. But anyway, I wasn't sure about the compendiums because I didn't like that they don't have the covers in them. But they've started releasing these cover gallery books, these beautiful hardcovers, and these are 100 issue covers at a time. And so now I'm sold. Now I'm good with replacing my Spawn collection in trade. So anyway, that's how I'm doing it, and I'm really
Mhm.
excited to be collecting again.
Yeah, for sure. I do feel like in terms of like the price stuff, I get hit like hard one week, and the next week it's like, oh, I have like one book this week.
Yeah, that's part of why I don't want to do the pull list thing anymore. For me, it's
Mhm.
at this point, it's kind of more fun to go pick and choose and go, okay, I'm buying 4 books, whatever they are.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
The only thing that kind of sucks is in not keeping up with a pull list. And I might have to strategize a little bit and order some individual issues. Is I went in looking for a couple of things at the shop this last week, and he just didn't order any. So I wanted the Space Ghost annual, and he didn't get that. So I did back order that. Uh, but there were a couple other things like maybe he just sold out, but he didn't have any copies of Ghost Rider versus Galactus, and I kind of wanted
Mhm.
that.
Oh yeah, I heard that was a book that they're doing.
Did
Every
you
time
see
I
who's
see
writing that?
Hickman,
No,
'cause it's everything
no,
Marvel's
no,
Hickman.
no. I wouldn't make a big deal out if it was Hickman. No,
No, I
JMS
know.
is writing that.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was doing that.
Yeah,
I know he did a Captain America book. I think like a year or two ago. I think it went like 19 issues, and it was like his first like big return to comics.
he's been out for a
That's really
long
cool.
time. And he was sick,
Hmm.
and I'm not sure what his health is like now, but
Yeah. No, that's really cool. Every time I see that cover, though, all I think of is the '90s FF episode where Ghost Rider pops up and just
yep.
kills Galactus instantly.
Yeah, I previewed it. I looked at the first 4 or 5 pages, and the art's nice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the cover I saw looked really cool.
It is a lot more comedic than I expected, which is a little disappointing to me. But I haven't I
Interesting.
haven't
I would
gotten
not have expected
but
that.
I didn't get
Yeah.
very far in. So anyway,
Hmm.
okay. Should we're already 20 minutes in, just talking about what we're doing with comics.
Yeah.
Should we go ahead and start looking at upcoming things, or should I go through just real briefly the stuff I bought last week? Because I wanted to do both of those things.
It's up to you. I've got a few things I can say that I got this week too. So
Let's do
whatever.
that first then. And I've been
Okay.
talking for a long time, so why don't you start?
Oh god, and I have to pull this up. Okay. It'll take me 5 seconds. Okay, so I've got a
I'm
few
sorry, Austin.
issues.
I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh,
Can I do the super
yeah,
chats real quick?
go for it. Go
Because
for it.
I completely forgot about these. Apologies, guys, and thanks for the support. Dan Schneider, $2 super chat. Will absolute DC save the comics industry? Not by itself. I'd say there's kind of a few other things that are
It's
that
definitely
are
helping.
hitting pretty hard right now. But yes, it's
Mhm.
definitely helping. It might help save DC for the foreseeable future. But DC is
Yeah.
also doing a lot of other things right. I don't know how well everything is selling there. I haven't looked at sales numbers lately. I'll start doing that some too as I get back into this.
Yeah, for sure. I know Absolute's doing really well in sales.
But yeah, I would say that will help, and there are kind of some big crossover things. However you feel about how gimmicky that is, that's helping. There's been a lot of buzz with and this is why I did the thumbnail I did with Sonic and DC. And people seem to be liking the Alien stuff, the Alien and Predator stuff that Marvel's doing with crossing stuff. All of that is helping. There's just some high profile things right now that are getting people back into shops. I'm still hearing a lot about Skybound Transformers and some other things that they're doing. So I don't know, like several I would say every company right now has like that one thing people are talking about. I don't know that we've been able to say that for a long time, right? Like IDW's got their
Mhm.
Sonic stuff, and I don't know that Ninja Turtles is anything like as high profile as it even was back with Tom Waltz. Even though they've got Jason Aaron, but like that book's supposed to be good. I've not been reading it.
Yeah, I'm
I'll
not even
get
sure
I'll get back to it.
like how far into his run they are.
9.
Uh, oh, okay. It's not too bad. So only like one ahead of Absolute Superman,
It's coming out.
which
Uh,
is also airing.
it's coming out simultaneous with Powerpuff Girls, I guess, because it's also at 9.
Oh,
With Dynamite, but then Dynamite has some things that people seem kind of excited about. Like not anything like as high profile, but I think with them it's just like they've got like numbers. They've got like several properties people are kind of digging on right now. Dynamite is
mhm.
absolutely the new IDW, and then DC has Absolute, and Marvel has New Ultimate, and everybody's got something right now. And
Hmm.
like I said, Marvel's got the Alien and Predator books, and there's I forget what there's like. I think there's like a Wolverine event right now that people are liking, and like there's quite a bit going on,
When DC just is starting Vertigo up again, so we'll probably see
right?
some cool stuff from them in like the next few years with that.
Bob the Hun $5 super chat. The new Ultimate Spider-Man by Jonathan Hickman is surely on your list. That new Ultimate line in general is beloved and getting a lot of praise. I read the first issue of the new Ultimate Spider-Man when it came out and adored it, and have just not gotten back to it. I had this holding pattern for a while, Austin, where I would check out a thing and I go, "That was really good." I still don't care. And I really just kind of felt like that for a while. And I will say real quick too, I meant to mention this when I was talking about my buying strategy. Part of the reason that this just seems like the right time for me is a lot of my entertainment dollars were going to tabletop gaming for a while, and Heroes of the Grid, which is the tabletop Power Rangers miniatures game, is ending, and that was a big cash sink for me. And I'm not gonna have that anymore. And there's some other tabletop here and there that I'd like to keep getting or get eventually, but I'm pretty solid on that stuff right now. I've got like 400 or more miniatures to paint right now. I'm good. I've got so much to do, and I've got games in shrink wrap I've never even like opened and learned to play. So like I've got plenty to do there right now. So I feel opened up for comics again.
No, very cool. I've not looked at any of the new Ultimate stuff, but I don't know. It's hard to say because obviously we made fun of the Absolute thing for a while, and it did ultimately work out. But there is just
It absolutely
like
worked out.
exactly. Uh, I still am at that point with the Ultimate Universe that I was with Absolute back then, where it's like I don't know. There's still that part of me that's like, I feel like they're cashing in. They got nothing going on, so they're like, let's do the ultimate thing to cash in on nostalgia. Um, I don't know. The status quo for Spider-Man doesn't excite me, uh, and it's one of those things where I also don't have anything good Spider-Man outside of that to like negate it like I do with Batman. So I don't know. I'll
Yeah,
probably try
that's
it at
true.
some point. So
Yeah, I thought the status quo of that first issue was really interesting. It was kind of a
mm.
cool way to go, but I
But
haven't
you know
continued
me,
with
I'm
it.
very picky on Spider-Man. Like I have like a very specific this is what Spider-Man is, and I don't like things outside of that. So it's like
That's fair. I guess I'm a little
it's
bit
hard to
more
say.
open to stuff with that than you are, but I'm real picky with
Mhm.
other stuff, so
Yeah.
I'm certainly sympathetic. Senior Six $5 super chat. Will you be or want to be getting the Galactus popcorn bucket, even if it costs what I heard to be $80 US? Well, I'll tell you, and I brought this up on the Captain Logan show last week. I showed a picture of it, and I'm impressed with it because it actually looks like it holds in a somewhat decent amount of popcorn, but my thing with the Galactus bucket is I would be more inclined to buy that if I hadn't just bought a ginormous, like 3 foot, or is it a foot and a half? It's like 2 or 3 feet statue of Galactus for the Marvel Zombies board game that I'm going to paint, and like I've already got my huge Galactus thing, so I don't know that I need the popcorn bucket, but
Yeah, I've never gotten into that. If there was any I was going to get, it probably would have been that Nosferatu coffin one. Uh, just for the joke of it, I maybe would have gotten the Slimer one they did for the last Ghostbusters. Have you seen the one that just came out for Superman?
no, I don't think so.
It's pretty funny. It's like a big kind of metal tube thing, and there's like a little Superman outside, and there's like a heat vision thing that goes, and it's breaking through the glass of it, where like they have like the shattered glass around it, and in the middle of it is like what they actually make the popcorn in. So it's like he's heat visioning it to make popcorn that's spilling out into the vat. It's like
That seems overthought to me.
absolutely, but I was like, That's kind of fun."
Yeah, yeah, that's kind of fun. I like the one they did for Thunderbolts,
I don't know that I've seen that one.
and I saw that one in person. They were selling it at my theater, but that one is and I don't know how the hell it holds popcorn. I like to complain about that, but that one is the limousine.
Oh, okay. I've seen the one for that new animated Lord of the Rings one, and it's really funny because it's like a warhammer, but it has like a handle that's like this long. So I'm like, you just have like a handle going up to the
That's
person next to
that's
you.
ridiculous.
I don't know, but the popcorn bucket thing I think kind of got crazy, and
I'm waiting for
uh,
that fad to end, and I kind of think that movie theaters are gonna keep pushing it as long as they can, just for anything to get attention and extra sales, right? Like
absolutely. Well, that Dune one was like the big thing that kicked it off, and since then people have been chasing that. Um, but yeah,
yeah, I think it's possible to artificially inflate a fad like years beyond interest to like keep making it look like a fad so somebody will pay for it. But anyway, Austin, would you go through some new
oh
things that
yes,
you
my
got?
issues.
And yeah, we're already like half an hour into the show. Let's do those, and like I said, I'll go through mine as fast as I can, and then we'll look at some things coming out the next couple weeks.
Okay, so these aren't new, but I'll just say I picked this up this week as well. Just catching up on stuff. So I'm very much the person that kind of rolls my eyes at crossover stuff, and I was like, I'm not buying this. And then after a while, I went, whatever. I'll get it, whatever. Maybe it'll be enjoyable. I picked up the first four issues of the Godzilla Marvel crossover.
what
So
I've
that is
what
good.
I've read of that is great. I read
Oh, okay,
the
cool.
first issue or two. The art is awesome. I actually want us to review that at some point. And two is
Oh,
already
cool.
out, I think.
Well, I have four issues. So it's Godzilla versus Fantastic Four, Godzilla versus Spider-Man, Godzilla versus Hulk, and
Oh, I was
Godzilla
just
versus
talking about
X-Men.
Justice League. I didn't even realize that they did a Marvel crossover. Crazy.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
Yeah.
geez. Okay, sorry. No, I thought you were talking about
No,
Justice
it's
League.
okay.
That's nuts. And then,
Uh,
and then, aren't they doing like a Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong book?
yes, which I'll mention in a second
Okay,
too.
okay.
So this the Marvel one, they're doing a 6 issue thing of just one shots where it's like him versus different characters, and then at the end of that, they are doing a miniseries that is Godzilla breaks the Marvel universe. So I have the first 4 issues of this, and I haven't had a chance to read them yet. But I'll say that up front. I'm late on my comics this week, so I've not had a chance to read any of them. I've got Absolute Green Lantern number 3. I've got Godzilla Heist number 4. I've got Absolute Superman number 8 and Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong 2 issue 1.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't know Kong was in the. I'm so confused. So was there just a Godzilla Justice League, and then they did one with Kong, and now they're doing a sequel to that?
No, so the first one is Justice League versus Godzilla versus Kong,
Oh, I didn't know
and
Kong
then
was
this
in
is
that.
a sequel
Okay,
to that. Yeah,
okay.
yes, because there is a really fun that first one is a great crossover. Like they take advantage of like anything that they can, uh, and you get Green Arrow stranded on Skull Island for a little bit because of
That's awesome.
course,
That's awesome.
yeah, and Gorilla Grodd sees Kong and he's like, "Oh, he's the god of apes. We love this guy." But the big thing with this new one I know is that they bring in like Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah. So I'm excited to see kind of more of that Godzilla stuff come in.
Yeah, RJ Godzilla says Justice League is doing American Godzilla and Marvel is doing Japanese Godzilla.
Yes,
That's kind of
yeah,
cool.
exactly.
That's kind of cool.
Which makes sense because WB is the distribution for those American movies. But yeah, and the first one's really fun, so I imagine the second one will probably also be really fun.
What else, Austin?
That's it. Those are my new issues. I'm excited to read all of them. I've been really digging Absolute Superman and Absolute Green Lantern. Godzilla Heist is a really fun heist book with like a crazy premise where a guy has a machine that can like call Godzilla. So he like is like, oh, I'm gonna rob a place. So he calls Godzilla, so he attacks the city, and then he robs the place because everyone's busy with that
That's
monster
fun.
attack. Yeah, so that's a fun premise. But yeah, those are my issues for this week.
Okay, so I will preface this big stack by saying, like I said, I'm only going to be usually buying 3 or 4 issues a week
Mhm.
in singles just for collecting purposes. Much of the time, I won't even actually read them this way. Although a couple of these I did, and it was kind of nostalgic to go back and actually read a physical issue, Austin, because I'm so much in a tablet these days. But anyway, I got an incredible deal at my comic shop. This new shop I've been going to. I decided to sell my collection of Marvel Star Wars comics, going back 10 or more years now. And it's crazy how long it's been, but I've got, or I had a lot of the Disney Star Wars stuff. With like Jason Aaron Star Wars and the Darth Vader ongoing, et cetera, et cetera. And I had like 143 issues of that, and I was like, I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I was buying those to read at the time. I didn't really need to collect these, and so I thought I'm getting back into comics. It'd be nice just to have some extra money to spend on comics, and so I took those in, and I just wanted store credit, and I got quite a bit more than I was expecting with that. So I was able to buy some extra stuff, and I actually still have quite a bit of credit with him that I'm gonna spend some more this weekend. So anyway, that was fun. And part of the reason I did that too is just I need backing boards because I gotta catch my collection up. I've got so many things that aren't bagged and boarded right now. I just like part of it. I just needed boards, and I was able to get a bunch of comics with it too. So a week before that, I picked up just for newer stuff, Captain Planet #1. Captain Planet's got a grass beard now. That's a choice. I read this. It was a real consummate setup issue. It's fine. I'm not ultra impressed yet, but we'll see how it goes. It's kind of the antithesis to Space Ghost in that it's really just the first chapter of an ongoing story, and it's the same guy writing Space Ghost. So with Space Ghost, he's doing real episodic issues, and this is in an ongoing unfolding story. But the same thing with Space Ghost, just taking the material a little bit more seriously. I got the Knuckles Flash variant for DC, for what, Sonic Cross DC or DC Cross Sonic or whatever they're calling it, and I've decided to go ahead and buy all of these in singles because it's only a mini series, and sometimes Austin I'll probably do that where I'll just go ahead and bite the bullet and get a whole mini series. So this last week I got the second issue also with Darkseid holding a Chaos Emerald, because of course he's got to be going after the Chaos Emeralds. I'm not real impressed with this yet. There's some fun stuff in it, but it's just really typical crossover material. I'm getting that more for covers and art because I always like the art in the IDW Sonic comics, and
I know this stuff's not canon to each other.
Yeah.
But that is just really funny that you had the Marvel DC crossover where Darkseid sees the Infinity Gems. He's like, whatever, those suck. He sees the Chaos Emeralds. He's like, here we go. These are gonna be mine.
I'm also gonna get the Shadow Batman variant next week, and I actually the guy at my comic shop bought a stack of them. And I saw them behind the counter, and I was like, can I get one of those? And he was like, no, I can't sell them until next week. And I was like, are you telling me that there are comic distributors now that get things out a week ahead of time? And he was like, yes, they do. And I'm like,
that's heavy back.
That's awesome. Because when I was working at a comic shop, you only had Diamond, and they shipped the Tuesday before. And if they missed a shipment, you were just sunk on Wednesday. It was awful. And they still do that, apparently. And they filed Chapter 11. We think there's going under at some point, but they're still distributing right now. But there are two other major distributors, and whoever is distributing Dynamite, IDW, is putting their stuff in. I don't know these other distributors yet because I've been out of the loop. I feel like I've been time traveling. But whoever that is gets you your stuff a week ahead of time, and that is to be applauded. And then he had some recent back issues for cheap, so I got the Ninja Turtles 40th anniversary celebration, and I've only thumbed through this, but it's neat because it's got little short stories from nearly every era of Ninja Turtles, including one for 2003 Ninja Turtles, which is kind of fun to see in print like that. And then I also bought... just because it was a silly cover, another big, thick comic that's just a bunch of different short stories called DC's I Know What You Did Last Crisis.
Oh, yeah, that's the Dan DiDio book, isn't it?
It's just a bunch of short stories.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
I thought he was working on something like that.
I don't know what that is. I thought it was just a goofy one shot. It could be related to some event I don't know about, but I just bought it because it looked funny. And again, I've only thumbed through that so far as well. And then this last week, for actual new stuff and some old stuff also, I got Birds of Prey #22 because I really like this cover and because it looks like old school Birds of Prey, and that makes me happy. I read the first issue of that series today, and it's decent. I like it well enough to keep going with it. Absolute Superman #7. I'm going to collect the Absolute books, I think, in trade, Austin, but there's going to be some token covers that I like too much not to get, and I love their Brainiac so far, so I had to have that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that issue is specifically from his perspective, and it's amazing. That is one of the best issues of that book so far.
Tyler says DiDio did a story in it. Yeah, there's a bunch of different stories by different people in it.
I must have heard that first and just assumed that he was doing that book because I didn't realize that was a short story thing. So that's probably what it is.
Senior Stakes, no Spawn cap. Well, again, I'm collecting Spawn in trade, and I may occasionally get a cover just that I think looks cool, and I might go back and rebuy a few old issues that I sold before just because I love them, but it's going to be hard to decide where to draw the line with it. And I'm scared if I get into that, I'll try to replace everything, and I don't need to be doing that. So
Mhm.
I'm not sure how I'm going to go with that yet. There were actually a couple of Spawn issues that came out recently that I thought about getting, and I was like, it's a slippery slope. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. So I've waited. I got Powerpuff Girls #8 because I just like this cover with the girls in their iconic bed, and I will maybe get these in singles down the road. I haven't decided yet, and I haven't read any of this yet, so I don't know how this book is. But I like that cover, so I had to have that. What are you laughing at?
As no, just as somebody who doesn't know anything about Powerpuff Girls, just the statement of and their iconic bed is just like funny when you don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how I could put that where you wouldn't laugh at me, but I couldn't come up with anything. So
No, I'm not laughing at you. It's just it's one of those things where when you say something like of your fandom to someone who doesn't know anything about it, like it just sounds strange. You know what I mean?
yeah, I got the first issue of the Black Label Resurrection Man book because I collect Resurrection Man. I have all of it, so I have to have this. 3 just came out this last week. I didn't get that yet. I because he didn't have 2 either. And
Mhm.
so I don't know. I will grab those eventually. Austin, I thought Black Label was all oversized, and I guess they're doing some regular sized books now.
Yeah, no, I think they have been for a little bit. I think that's what that Riddler Year One was the first one that I saw was like that.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Um, yeah, I also really like that they're doing a lot of just different characters. Like I think there's a Plastic Man Black Label book that's going right now. They
Interesting.
just did a Zatanna one, I think, recently. It's really cool.
It is cool. I like that they're taking some risks there and they don't necessarily care just how well it sells because I don't expect anybody to buy that. I figured it would be some kind of like alternate rebooted sort of thing, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's just,
Mhm.
you know, original Resurrection Man. I
Yeah.
also bought the majority of Curse of the White Knight because I have all of this in single or all of the first book in singles, and he had these for $3 a piece, so that's better than covers. So I went ahead and bought these. I'm missing 6, I think. No, number 6, I think, but I've got the rest of them. And he had several variants, so I even got to pick which covers I wanted for a lot of these, which was kind of cool. So I got the Joker one and the Harley Quinn one. But those
That's
are great.
cool. Is that also a
And
Black Label
and the
book?
Asriel one. It is, which I didn't realize until you said that.
I just didn't know. I just wondered.
It
Yeah.
is,
I
yeah.
also wasn't sure if Black Label would continue now that Vertigo is sticking around, but or is coming back. But I'm gonna guess that Black Label will probably be the DC character books, and Vertigo will probably be more creator-owned
I'm pretty
stuff.
sure they've all but said that's what
Yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
that's just what I assumed. But it is cool that both are sticking around.
I got What If Galactus Transformed Hulk because I just collect Galactus things and I collect What If. So I don't know. I haven't read this yet. I don't know if that's any good, but I bought that. And then, like I said earlier, I got Transformers #7 because I really like the Starscream cover a lot. And if I can find that Optimus rolled on his shoulders cover, I will get that because I was in love with that. But there's 2 or 3 covers I really
That's
like from that
cover.
book.
Yeah, absolutely.
Uh,
Daniel Warren Johnson's one of my favorite artists working right now. He's killer.
and then not from the comic shop, but just stuff I ordered. Like I said, I got the Spawn cover gallery book, the first 100 issues, and that's gorgeous. And then I also got so I'm trying to buy like 2 of these a month. So I got the Adventures of Spawn, which is one of the only really great Spawn stories, and everybody should read this. It's really fun. This kind of reimagined Spawn for all ages, which sounds awful, but it's not. It's Saturday morning in all the right ways, and it looks very like Batman animated series. It's just a really cool art style, and
I
then
was going to ask if that's what it is, because judging by that
mhm.
title, I assumed it had to be.
Yeah, it
That's really cool.
is. It is. It's great. And I reviewed that back in Spawn Year, so you could look at the Spawn Year episode. So I'm happy to have that again. And I don't know, sometimes it's nicer to have things in trade than in singles, because that has some new material in it. It's got some concept art in the back, and somebody wrote a forward or an afterword. I forget what, but there's some new stuff in that. And then I forgot about this, but so I cheated and I got one more Spawn trade because I've got that credit at the store, and I this was in hardcover and cheap. I got the Batman Spawn trade, which is both of the original Batman Spawn books. Which again I've reviewed on Spawn Year, and I don't have the trade for the new Batman and Spawn yet. I don't know if they've even traded that. I do have the
I
first
would have
issue
thought
because
so.
there's a really pretty cover that I bought, but I read the first few pages of it and I hated it, and I haven't
So
looked at
you
any more of that. But it seemed awful, but the art's great.
Well, because
This
you
is
told me you picked that trade up, but I assumed it was the new one. Because you just said I got the Batman Spawn trade, so
oh
I just
yeah.
assumed it was the new one.
No, it's the old
Okay.
one. But isn't it pretty? And it doesn't have a dust jacket. That's just the cover, and it's like kind of embossed. And anyway,
Hmm.
it's awesome. And this covered for 20, and I got it for 10, and I was like, that's a no brainer. I gotta have that. So
That's not too shabby. Plus, it's part of the Miller Batman universe.
according to exactly one person, who I guess is the only
Who's the only one that
opinion
matters?
that
It's Frank Miller.
matters, I guess. I don't know.
That is 100% canon to Dark Knight Returns. And if you say otherwise, Frank Miller will stab you.
Okay, we're taking forever on this, but we'll go ahead and start looking at
Yes.
some. I don't know. I hope that was fun for people. Somebody asked me if I'm going to start doing new acquisitions again. Let me just say, I have right now an idea for what I want to do on the channel for newer comics. I'm not going to announce it yet. In case I retool it and it's not exactly what I end up doing. Because, like I said, I'm riding on a high right now, and I don't want to start announcing things. I've got about a month to put together exactly how I want to handle that.
Mhm.
Because we're going to be doing a series that will kind of overhaul the channel for a few weeks when I come back from next week's hiatus, which I know I'm irritating people with this, but I'm still not ready to announce. But anyway, when we get back from that whole thing, I want to start doing some things with new comics again, and I'm not gonna do new acquisitions the way I used to because Austin, I really don't want to review issue to issue anymore. It kind of broke my analytical brain, where like I started thinking all the time in chapters and never got to talk about entire stories, and I didn't like that. So I want to do stuff trade to trade, and I want to talk about like what I'm buying and talk more collecting. So there's gonna be kind of a separation of like
Mhm.
discussing like what's out and what I'm collecting versus like actual story review. And so I want to do a mix of both of those things, but they won't be as integrated.
Yeah, for sure. So, what do we have by way of new comics, Cap?
Well, let's find out. So this is stuff that came out this week, and I'm gonna blow through things. Austin, stop me when something seems interesting, or when you know
Yeah,
about something that you want to tell us about. Let's all learn
yeah.
from each other, shall we? And if you're in the comments and you're watching live and you want to point out something that we don't know about, or try to get me to put something on my list, let us know about it, and we'll interact with you as much as we can. So this is the list for this last week that just came out. I want to look at this briefly and then plow ahead and look more at next week and the week after. But you'll
Hmm.
see a couple of things you'll recognize from what I just showed you. There's Birds of Prey number 22 there. There's Absolute Superman number 8. Austin, I am 2.5 issues into All Star Superman right now. I gotta get back to that, but I really like the first couple issues.
Nice. Yeah, it's a solid book. I like it a lot. Absolute Green Lantern, I'm also really liking. It's probably on my lower end of all of the books, but it is cool.
I'm
It's very like Stephen King-y.
sorry, guys. I gotta fix Austin on this screen real quick.
Oh no, I'm
I had to
messed
retool.
up in some way.
I
I don't know
you
how.
were barely even on the screen. I
Oh,
have to I had to retool some stuff and I forgot to this one step. I forgot to fix that. Uh Nicholas Poto, you mean Absolute Superman? I don't know what I said. It's like 12:30 in the morning. Anyway, so a lot of usual suspects. Of course, you've got your Daredevils, your Amazing Spider-Man, your X-Men. I don't know who is on a lot of
Uh,
current Marvel books. What's up?
so Joe Kelly, I think, just took over Spider-Man. I
Oh,
don't know how many
you
issues
told me about that.
he's in so far, but I know he was the one taking over. X-Men, I'm not sure because I can't see that cover well enough. I don't know if that is the Gail Simone book or if that's the other one because there's two going on right now. Okay, so that is not
Jed
the.
McKay, who's not a
Okay,
writer I'm familiar with. But yeah,
I
that's just
know
the regular
Simone
X-Men
is
book.
doing.
And I think there's another
Okay,
book that's supposed to be looking more at like the '90s team.
yes, that is the Simone book.
Okay, I would be
That is
curious
where it's
to
like
see
the.
that, and that's smart on Marvel's part because of how huge X-Men '97 was. It's not surprising to me if they don't want to regularly have something that kind of looks like that
Yeah,
at their
exactly.
stable.
I think that Imperial book is now the I think new event. I think Hickman's doing that, but I don't really know much about
So,
it.
from what little I have seen lately, Austin,
Mhm.
so you guys tell me if I'm at the lunch when I say this. The way I would peg DC and Marvel's battle strategies right now is Marvel is like staying the course and doing a lot of the same stuff they've been doing for the last decade. And DC is trying to simultaneously innovate and try to give you stuff that they've never shown you before, and also with mainline books look like the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like that's where those two companies are right now.
Yeah,
One of
for
these,
sure.
obviously, I like better than the other.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm definitely more happy with DC right now than I am Marvel.
And I've not been looking at a lot of Marvel, but what tends to happen, and this has been this way for the last several years, is I'll crack open a Marvel book that has an interesting premise and a cool cover, and I'll read 5 pages in, and I'll go, oh, it's that standard house style that's like too comedic and gimmicky, and it just isn't for me, and feels like it's for an audience that is probably not actually reading comics right now. And that's harsh, but that's just what it feels like.
The new Guardians book, it's canceled now, but from when the third movie came out, like broke my heart. It was like the first three issues. I was like, "Oh, I'm digging this. Like, it's not amazing, uh, but I'm enjoying this well enough."
Look, here's all
Like,
new
completely falls
Venom.
off.
Venom versus Anti Venom. If Flash Thompson doesn't take down the new Venom, his superiors will make sure it's Dylan Brock who pays the price. Oh, this sounds wonderful.
Well, and Cap, do you know who all new Venom is?
Yeah, it's. No, I don't know who all new Venom is. I know that Eddie Brock is currently Carnage, which is stupid.
Uh, it's Mary Jane.
No, Mary
Yes,
Jane is Venom right now.
Mary Jane is Venom with the gold symbol. She is all new Venom. Yes.
Oh, I can't even tell that that's supposed to be a female figure.
No, so it was a mystery where it was like,
Oh.
who is Venom? And a lot of people were like, oh, is it going to be Paul?
Oh,
Which I wish it was Paul.
I
That would have
remember
been
you.
beautiful.
I remember you saying that. Yeah,
But no, it ended up being MJ.
the Paul thing is very lost on me, so I keep forgetting about that. Every time you bring that up, I'm like, I forgot about that was a thing. Okay,
I just love the audacity of Paul. He's like everything that like a lot of people hate about new Spider-Man. Just like rolled into a character, and I kind of love him for that.
Braden Atkinson says it's just a meme. I feel that way about just a lot of Marvel things I hear about, like Helverine. How is this a thing? Helverine. Like, what are we doing?
I'm sure Halverian is classic
Is anyone
literature. Yeah.
buying that? Like, okay, all right. Ninja Turtles Naruto is something that will really excite my son Freddie. Freddie has now read every issue of Naruto. I don't know. I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he's caught up on that. He's read all of that. He is very much a manga kid, but it's nuts. There's the Space Ghost annual that I'm upset not to own. And Captain Planet #2 came out. I don't think I'm gonna buy that regularly in singles. I'll probably get that in trade down the road, but I'll get covers I like.
Hmm.
Um,
There's my Godzilla heist book.
yeah, I'm having a hard time. I'm trying to be careful not to just like skip over things that I don't typically go look at. I'm not reading the new Power Rangers book. I read the first issue and I really didn't like it. And the more I hear about it, the more it's just not for me. And I flipped open the issue 7 at the shop, and I thought the art was dreadful. And I'm like, it ain't for me, man. I don't know who this is for, but it's not. It's not my bag. I had good Power Rangers for 8 years, man. Well, there's a period in there that's awful, but other than that, I'm okay without Power Rangers right now.
Hmm. What is that devil book? That looks cool. That looks like something I'd be
Let
into. That
this
this
one
wouldn't be
be
a
a
devil?
devil that well see Dark Horse has got to come up with their own new properties because they don't own anything anymore. This is
Oh,
James
that's
Tinian.
Tinian. Well,
Yeah,
Tinian is like the man for original horror books, so I will check that out.
James
That
Tinian
looks
and
cool.
Tiny Onion. I don't know who that is, but his name's awesome. Present the thrilling conclusion to the new True Weird series documenting the origins of the Jersey Devil.
Cool, yeah, I'll check that out. That sounds neat.
Okay, so Austin's going to put that on his list of stuff he wants to check out.
Yeah. I'm always down for horror comics, and it is like a killer time to be into just original horror comics right now. And like I said, Tinian is a big person for that. He does a ton of them.
Image has a book called The Moon is Following Us. I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
The Moon is Following Us. Sam and Duncan Lamar love their 6-year-old daughter Penny more than anything, but half a year ago she was taken by the Cascade, an evil force they barely understand. Now Sam and Duncan must fight side by side with the magical beings Penny cherished to try and get her back before she's gone forever. So that sounds like a kind of like dark fantasy kind of book.
Yeah, well, the thing that I'm imagining is just the opening of Double Dragon, but with like the Majora's Mask moon, like just following the characters as they go on their adventure. But like you said, in a fantasy world.
Braden Atkinson says this Poison Ivy book is pretty good. I'm still not understanding the love the universe seems to have for Poison Ivy. Like she keeps getting her own material. This is on
Yeah.
issue 34. It's like Poison Ivy is the new Catwoman. I
Hmm.
mean, it's just
It is
crazy.
crazy, yeah. Yeah, I don't get it, but I also don't dislike
It's
Poison Ivy. Like, I don't know, she's
it's got
fine.
it's got good covers. Yeah, I don't dislike her either, but I don't want
It
to
is,
read her
that
by
is a cool
herself.
cover.
Now, I'm gonna argue that some of this goes back to Gotham City Sirens, where
Mhm.
like that was pretty well liked, and of course it's Paul Dini, and so when you think about Harley Quinn and Catwoman, you think about Poison Ivy, and so those are two
Mhm.
characters that have had their own books forever. Maybe it only stood to reason that eventually we did it with Poison Ivy.
Yeah, and I mean, people love Harley and Poison Ivy too.
Storm's got her own book right now, and it's an ongoing.
She have like a lightning sword? There's like a lightning rod?
Oh yeah, maybe so. I thought maybe she was just like somehow harnessing lightning to the point where it looks like she's holding it.
I mean, it could be, yeah. I mean, that's cool.
With the creators I'm not familiar with, but neat covers.
Hmm. That's a really cool cover.
I'm just gonna take a quick look at the rest of this for this week and then move on because I want to see what's coming up. So this is all stuff that's in the store right this moment. Again, you'll notice there's quite a bit of Spawn. Sam and Twitch Case Files has a new run right now. They're doing Sam and Twitch Omnibuy now, which is exciting. I will get the first one of those, and that has all of the Bendis stuff in it, which makes me happy. And it goes all the way up to the writer, which is more recent.
Hmm. Oh, nice.
Which means they'll have to wait around for a while before there's enough Sam and Twitch to even make a second compendium.
I didn't know Solomon Kane had a book going right now. That's really cool. Same with, I didn't know Labyrinth had a book.
Yes, I
That's
did
pretty
see
neat.
a cover of that recently.
That's pretty neat.
And then the further down you go, you start getting into like facsimile editions and things. DC's been re-releasing a lot of stuff lately.
I think my cover so far for this week that we've seen has to go to Red Sonja Attacks Mars. I mean, A, just beautiful,
Just,
but B, that cover is amazing.
I'll be honest with you, I don't care about Red Sonja. I would consider buying that cover.
That's an
But
amazing
I'm
cover.
a
I know
sucker.
Dan has told me that Dynamite's really killing it with Red Sonja right now.
Yeah, he really likes that. I am kind of a sucker for Mars Attacks. Just the
Oh,
just
okay.
the look of it. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I bought some of the IDW Mars Attacks. I don't even know if I read it. I just like the covers. I don't even
I mean, they're
remember
cool.
if I did that. Okay, are you good to go on to the next week?
Yeah, yeah, we can go to next week.
I haven't pulled anything down from this week just because I already looked at a lot of this stuff. But let's see what's
Mhm.
happening next week. So, Absolute Batman #9 is coming out. We've got the Bane with a tiny head, which I was gonna try not to not to see his design yet, but it was spoiled for me by the fact that I'm keeping up a little bit now.
Do you
Uh,
think he looks like an abomination?
no, I mean, like he looks like Bane with a tiny head. I don't know what to say about it. Like he's not as different as I was expecting. I thought he was going to be
Mhm.
just absolutely crazy, and like he's got a small head. I don't know.
Well, I think it's just that, like, because Batman is big, he has to be even bigger. But I love that he has a Goomba head from the
I will
'90s Mario movie.
I will probably buy that cover. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I kind of want that one.
Hmm. Yeah, we got
Uh,
Transformers #21.
yep.
Someone is killing
Also,
the.
check
Yeah,
out. You're gonna love the blurb for this. I did preview this one. You're gonna love the blurb
yeah.
for this. The face-off you demanded between Optimus Prime and Spoiler is here.
Oh, ooh.
I
I
didn't
mean, I can
know.
imagine who that is, but
Yeah, dude, I didn't know she was in the Transformers universe. I think we can all imagine who that is.
Mhm. I mean, yeah. Who could it be? I don't know. Cliff
Who
Jumper,
could it be now?
maybe.
Somebody was the ultimate showdown between Optimus Prime and Cliff Jumper.
Someone is killing the children's a book I've been wanting to get into for a while. I actually didn't realize it was still going, to be honest. I thought that was over. That was supposed
James
to get a
Tinian.
Netflix. Yeah, yeah, it is. That was supposed to get a Netflix show by Mike Flanagan, but he left Netflix, so I don't know if they're still making that just with someone else. But uh, that almost was a thing.
So have we decided that Tinian has like really improved and stepped up as a writer, or did just like the standards go way down and he rose up somehow? Like,
So like I've heard people don't like Tinian. I've never had that. I just didn't read like some of the stuff that people I guess didn't like because I know people that really don't like. I think Connor maybe doesn't like Tinian, but everything I've read from him has been really good,
okay.
which is all a creator owned, and he did the Skybound Dracula book, and now he's doing the Skybound Invisible Man.
See, I've
So it
always
could just be
been
that I've read the better stuff.
I've read him more with Batman than anything, and I've always found him like really hit and miss with Batman. But Tinian has always struck me as kind of like another Cullen Bunn,
Hmm.
who also is a guy with really good creator-owned stuff, who's kind of like
It could just
overly
be that
prolific.
it could just be like, you know, I do Batman because I work in comics. You know, I got to pay the bills. My creator owned stuff is the stuff I'm actually into.
Well, a lot of people have
Uh,
that. Yeah.
that's what I mean. Like it could just be something like that.
Uh,
But
Tyler
his Dracula is
keeps
really cool.
Tyler keeps talking up Batman Dark Patterns. The next issue of that comes out this next week, and I will try to take a look at that in
Cool.
trade. I have been hearing good things about that.
Oh, it's
Dan
Dan Waters.
Waters. What else has he done? I don't know that name right off.
So he did the Skybound Creature from the Black Lagoon book, which I liked a lot
Oh,
too.
cool.
And he did the Skybound Destro book as one of the minis before GI Joe, and both of those were really cool.
Let's look at the blurb for this. I don't even know what the premise
Yeah.
is. I like these covers a lot. Set during the early years of Batman's career. See, you always hook me with that. All you have to do is say it's early Batman, and I'm immediately more interested. Because it probably means that he's not gonna solve every problem with ridiculous futuristic tech, and there's a better chance it's a detective story. Batman Dark
Mm.
Patterns delves into four mysterious cases as he attempts to cement his place as Gotham City's protector. You know, if Jeff Loeb was writing this, it would take 4 years. as Gotham City's protector, while the city itself fights back against him. This is the Dark Knight detective at his most stripped down core, a man relying on his wits, his skills. See, you don't have to say any more. And
Yeah,
little
I'm
else
definitely down to read this.
as he tackles
Is
some of
this
the most twisted mysteries Gotham City and its protector have ever encountered. Case 1, a series of sickeningly gruesome murders, has sent shockwaves through Gotham. Are these the random works of a serial killer, or is there something more sinister at play? Batman's attempts to get to the bottom of the mystery before any more victims are claimed. That sounds wonderful. Sign me up right
That
now.
sounds great.
That's
Is
great.
this an ongoing or is this? Oh, I guess because case one, so I guess it probably is.
It makes it sound like it could be just a maxi.
That's what I wondered, but then I was like, oh, case one, maybe not though.
Well, it says
Tyler
just
Sayers
yeah,
says
yeah,
that it's.
but listen, because it said 4 cases.
Oh, true,
So it
true. Okay,
sounds
so it might be.
limited. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. No, I missed that. You're right. Tyler Sayers says that it's basically the old Legends of the Dark Knight,
that's what
which
it
is a
sounds
new
like.
book.
Yeah,
That's cool.
no, that's
Uh,
exciting.
th that Geiger book, that is. Um, Jeff Johns, he's got an imprint at Image now. I think he's got a few books under it, but that was the first one they launched with.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah, Tyler says that's 12 issues. That's what it sounded like. Was that it was probably a
oh, okay.
12 issue maxi. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you just now, but I
No, it's
just
okay.
um we missed that thing I said, and I was like, nah, it told us how many cases, so I think it's got to be limited.
Hmm. No worries, no worries.
Anyway, sorry, I was like, oh, I sound like an asshole. Sorry about that. Anyway,
You like create our own Batman time, baby.
yeah, man. Hey, I'm curious about Death of the Silver Surfer. I may pick up at least this first issue. Now, the thing that I feel weird about with it is the timing of it is odd and probably intentional. Where it's like we have a new Silver Surfer in the Fantastic Four movies, so of course we have to kill the old one in comics.
But it's
If
also
that's
becoming a
what's
weird.
actually happening, but maybe the story will be good. I don't know. I collect Silver Surfer. I would like to try this out.
It's also just becoming a really weird
Oh, it's Greg
strategy
Pak.
from Marvel, where Doctor Strange 2 is coming out, so they killed Doctor Strange. Uh, the Marvels was coming out, so they killed Miss Marvel. It's this really weird synergy thing. I don't know what they're
It
doing.
also
And I
makes you
say that a
seem
lot, but
well. It makes you seem desperate because yes, you're right. If you look at it in one way, it's like well, it seems very counterintuitive that you would kill the character you're trying to get people excited about. But killing characters, I has been a way in the past that companies have gotten noticed.
mhm. Yeah,
They won't
I
with
don't.
this,
It's
but
very counterintuitive. I don't know what they're doing. It's like being in the heart of the MCU, and you're suddenly replacing characters with new legacy characters no one likes. When it's like people are actively wanting, these old characters right now. But I don't know. What do I know? I
oh,
do not run a
revised what he said.
failing comic company.
Tyler revised what he said, and he said Dark Patterns is actually only 9 issues, and so
Oh,
it's almost done. It's got 2 more after this week.
cool. Well, I will pick it up and trade.
Yep, I will definitely read that. We should review that when it's finished.
Hmm.
Or do 2 videos on it and do it like 6 and 6. Phoenix has
Yeah,
her
for
own
sure.
book apparently, just called Phoenix.
Yeah, they did like a big X-Men push where they announced like a bunch of different X books like all around the same time.
And again, that's clear corporate synergy
Yeah,
because
I remember Phoenix being one of them.
we're about to go into a big like X-Men age at the MCU, which is so odd and ironic given that you had this period where they tried to sell the Inhumans as the new X-Men, and then they were like phasing the X-Men out in comics, and boy, the worm is
Hmm.
turned with that.
Yep.
Exceptional X-Men must be that Gail Simone book. No, that's
No, I
Ewing.
I think it's Uncanny. Would be it because it's like the classic team, if you
Oh,
want to
okay,
say that, because
okay,
it's you know more in line with like the '97 thing.
that makes sense. Here's an Image book called Geiger.
Yeah, that's the one I was saying. That's part of Jeff Johns's imprint. So that was like the first big book he kicked off with
Oh,
it.
apologies, I missed the name of it when you said that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I think he started with like 3 books there, but I could be wrong. But it's him and Gary Frank.
Jeff Johns and Gary Frank returned to the nuclear wasteland. Well, don't try to sell us on Doomsday Clock. Returned to the nuclear wasteland of their best-selling Geiger for an all-new ongoing series. Oh, so this is a thing that existed before.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Starring the violent and unpredictable Glowing Man. Okay, just based on the fact that the main character is called Glowing Man, doesn't even look like my kind of thing. I just feel like I have to put it on my list on principle. Really,
Yeah, well, when it was announced, I was like, "Oh, that looks cool enough. Like, I'll check that out." And then
it
I never got
does.
around to it. But I will probably read this at some point.
No, that
I
sounds
haven't
neat.
heard, yeah, I haven't really heard people talk about it, so I don't know what the consensus is. But it looks cool, and I like Gary Frank. I like Jeff Johns at
But like
times.
King Spawn 46, how have these spin-offs been going this long? It's crazy.
That is insane. God bless you, Todd. What are you doing? Something right, apparently.
Apparently, I guess. Or he's just trying to create the image that something is right. I don't know. Eddie Brock Carnage, boo. Nobody buy that. I don't even care if it's good. It's wrong and it bothers me. That should not be a thing. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe one last time. I used to buy all of the Cullen Bunn Deadpool stuff. I feel like we've done this for too long now. I don't think Deadpool needs to keep destroying the Marvel universe. I think we've been there, we've done that, and it's time to move on.
Yeah, and I feel like that original book is kind of like that Daniel Way thing, where like I do hear Deadpool fans that don't really like it and feel like that is part of where the character goes astray,
Which is
but
funny
I don't
because
know.
that's where I came to actually
Yeah,
kind of
no,
like Deadpool.
exactly.
I think the original is an absolute masterpiece, and I'm
Hmm.
not always Cullen Bunn's biggest fan, but I love that book. Like,
Yeah, for
and again,
sure.
that's not fair. Bunn's done a lot of stuff I like, but I
Hmm.
mean, he could be hit and miss. And again, he writes a lot of books, so I don't know. I'm not throwing
Yeah.
shade at Cullen Bunn, but I
There's a few things in this line that are kind of interesting to talk about. Like you have that new Avengers #1, which is oh sorry, we can start with this.
Oh, you're fine. Sorry, I was just going to mention this real quick. This I will probably buy the first issue of and check out. Batman and Robin, Jason Todd. So I'll just read the start of the synopsis because it will tell you why I want to read it. The early days of a very different dynamic duo with a very different dynamic. It's early Jason Todd working with Bruce Wayne. It's just every time you say it's an early Batman story, I get a little excited about it. But it would be cool to go back and fill in the blanks with some of that.
Hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But what were you gonna mention?
No, so I was gonna say you have that new Avengers book, which is like part of that Thunderbolts thing, where that was announced as Thunderbolts Asterix, and now it's just the new Avengers #1. You have Supergirl #2, which is like
Wait,
Supergirl,
did they
and
really do that? Of
they really
course they
did that.
did
Yeah.
that.
You have Matrix Supergirl and Supergirl living together, which is insane. They brought Matrix Supergirl back.
Oh, is that what that book is?
Yes, yeah. So if you go to the cover, like that is what that cover is.
Okay, I am. I guess I'm curious about that then.
Yeah, and that's Sophie
Crazy.
Campbell who's doing the Mothra book that I'm reading right now. And her writing can be like a little cringy at times, but the art in that book is amazing for the
So
Mothra
I
one.
knew they were
So
bringing back Matrix Supergirl, but I didn't realize it was in this book and that they were together.
yeah,
That's a
yeah, they're
that's a
like
cute
roommates, I
cover.
think. Hmm.
Yeah, it's all right. Some of these variants are nice too. I'm a sucker for Supergirl, but I will
Yeah.
say, I the and I flipped through, or no, I saw a preview for this book, and the art is really cool. If that's your thing, it's not really what I want for Supergirl,
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair.
but so I don't I like I'll check it out,
Hmm.
but I like my angry
And then
Supergirl. That's what I want. I want her to be pissed off perpetually.
you have giant-sized Amazing Spider-Man #1, which is an amazing Greg Capullo cover.
Oh yeah, look at that.
even though it's mainly focusing on the Fantastic Four. But it is great.
That is cool. That's true. Braden Atkinson, What's Matrix Supergirl? So that was a version of Supergirl that was around during the Death of Superman days, early '90s, and she is not actually Kryptonian, and she's a shapeshifter who is dating Lex Luthor at the time.
Hmm. And Tyler says it's not Matrix Supergirl. At least he doesn't think it is. That's just what I'd heard. But it is that design. So I mean, if it's not, then it's at least looking at the look of
Strange.
it.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot Wonder Woman got a daughter named Trinity. I still think
yeah.
that's
Tom
weird.
King.
Is that Tom? Okay.
That's Tom
Well,
King. Yeah.
I won't look at that unless somebody tells me it's brilliant. Well, and even then, people will tell me Tom King things are brilliant that I
People
absolutely
are.
hate.
I hear a
But
lot of like anger from Wonder Woman fans about Tom King's run.
really,
So
okay.
I don't know.
But again, he still does good work here and there. Uh,
Absolutely,
ooh,
absolutely.
Demona got her own book. That's pretty cool. I have not
Neat.
looked at any comic gargoyles. It's neat that Greg Weisman has gotten to do all that stuff himself. I bet that's all great. I might try to read that at some point. I'm not collecting it, but
Hmm. Red Sonja versus Army of Darkness is a book I need to read. That looks awesome.
what is it with Red Sonja just
She's killing
crossing
it.
with
What
everything
can I
right
say?
now?
She's getting a new movie this year. She's killing it this year.
Wow, it's her year. It's the year of Red
Exactly.
Sonja and of Toxic Avenger.
Yes.
Let's see what Todd's doing with Spawn right now. Hell has broken free. Oh, just all of it. Okay.
Was Todd
And
actually writing it
he
still,
still
or like
is, yeah.
currently?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep. And
Huh.
he's, I mean,
Good
he's
on you,
allowing
Todd.
some other people to write the spin-offs, but he's still doing the main book. Hell is broken free and is spilling out onto Earth. Angels and demons are fighting in the streets. Only one man can put a stop to the carnage. Spawn. That actually sounds great, but it sounds like what we should have done, like, I don't
An
know,
issue two.
85 issues in. But that's great. Oh my God, Austin the Variant is your
It's
boy.
Sigor.
It's your boy. Look at
Yes. I hope he has nothing to do with this issue.
that.
It should just be a rule that every Spun issue has a Sigor variant.
Kind of like that variant for Space Ghost #2 that it was Zorak, but Zorak's not there until 4.
Chewbacca's lover wanted you to pick or click on Ultimate Black Panther,
Uh,
which
okay,
is I'm
so
not yeah.
so I've been hearing things about a white Black Panther, and I don't know what that's about.
I thought that was in the main
Have you heard about
book,
this?
or
Yeah, it
maybe
probably
it's
is.
in, or it might be in that Imperial book. Because I think I don't know. I'm not entirely sure where that comes from.
So, yeah, I'm not sure why you wanted us to click on this. I don't know anything about uh, the Ultimate books outside of Spider-Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I've heard Ultimate Black Panther is really good though.
Cool.
Uh, but the best issue by far for this week is it should be like further down. I think it's even past that Army of Darkness versus Red Sonja book, but it's the Toxic Avenger one.
Oh God. Yeah, you showed me the cover for that. Do we have to click on that? Where is it?
It should be a little bit further down. There's also a Mike McNoll of Frankenstein, which looks really cool.
That's
Oh
cool.
yeah, there it is.
I still don't see it.
It's right next to that Batman,
Oh, there
Dark
it
Knight,
is.
and
Yeah.
Halloween. Yeah. Toxic Avenger meets Jesus. 100% instant
Austin's
buy.
buying that. Austin's
Yes.
gonna run out and find the physical issue for that.
I love that it's just called Toxie Team Up too. That's beautiful.
That's great. Real quick, here's that third printing with Shadow's Batman. So I'm a little confused about what we're doing with the Sonic DC crossover, because one of the first things that we saw with that were all of these designs for Sonic characters as DC characters, but
Hmm.
it's just a like the teams meet each other book. And so I'm
Mhm.
wondering if it's just for these cool variant covers, which I really
I
like,
think it's
by the
probably
way,
that, and then they
or
can sell merch.
or if it turns into an amalgam thing halfway through. And I could see it
Mhm.
going either way. And the reason I say that, Austin, is
Yeah.
a lot of crossover stuff has gotten really gimmicky where everybody's got to wear each other's costumes and stuff. You don't have a Green Lantern crossover where random characters from a different universe don't become Green Lanterns. Like they always do that. And like Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, the Ninja Turtles have to become Power Rangers. They can't just meet them and team up. Like they gotta morph. Even freaking Shredder morphs in that. Um, we always do it,
Mhm.
and that makes me wonder if it's not still possible that it happens in that.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. I think we almost got stuff like that in Infinity War. I think there's supposed to be a bit where Tony Stark gets the Doctor Strange cape and Doctor Strange
Oh,
puts on the Iron Man armor, like in one scene.
Dan Schneider says Shadow looks like goddamn deviant art. Uh, that's fair, but I still think it looks cool. I don't know. I like it.
That's the hard thing drawing Sonic things, man. Like
Don't judge me. My children will like it.
that world is so polluted.
He says that cover might make me blind. Well, you're gonna really give me crap when I buy it, because I'm gonna get my hands on it. Hey, look, it's Aliens versus Avengers. Did you know they were doing this one?
Yes, and that's one where I'm like, I don't know if I care about that, but I've heard it's good.
I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't have thought back in the day that I'd care about Superman and Predator, but that's pretty good. So like,
Yeah. Absolute Flash 4 is coming out that week. I'm sure that will be cool. That's the beginning, I guess, of the second arc because last issue, the first arc ended.
numbers are getting crazy, man. Detective is at 1098.
Wild.
Detective 1098.
A team up most foul. Is that Batman and Joe Chill's daughter still?
Oh God, I forgot about that. See, so I meant to say this earlier. One of the reasons I'm also getting more interested in reading more current stuff, Austin, is I feel like there are enough offerings, even from the big two, but especially DC, that don't require you to keep up with or care at all about mainline.
Mhm.
It's like when they do big events, does anybody care anymore? Like, do they sell the numbers they used to? Because I feel like the events everybody is talking about are things that are outside of regular continuity now.
Mhm. Yeah, possibly. That New Gods book, I've not read it. I've heard it's really good, but the artwork for the covers is amazing. I think that's Ram V writing that. But those covers are killer.
Oh wow, I didn't know about this book.
Hmm. Yeah, it's only issue 7. Like it's pretty new.
Yeah, Rand V. I don't know him.
Yeah, he's done. He's one of those guys that just kind of does a ton of stuff. I again know him more for things outside of the big two, but
But yeah, like
he's pretty
you've been
cool.
keeping up the last couple of years. So there are like bigger names in comics now that I'm just not familiar with. So
Hmm.
I gotta get back in the loop and learn who some of these people are.
I think when we did that Donna DC video, I think he was the guy writing Detective, and
Okay.
I think we both and Dan too really liked his Batman book over what's his face Zdarsky's. It just in like those single issue we read,
I
but
should have kept reading past that stuff because I did like a lot of what we read with that, but I was still in that
mhm.
in that place of like, I mean, yeah, this is good, but it's new comics and I'm buying board games and I just don't care.
Yeah,
And
no, for sure.
at some point, I'll catch up on Superman because I was just in love with that book.
Hmm. I'm not sure who's writing Iron Man right now. What's going on with that book? I just saw that that looks like a cool cover.
Where is it?
It's in the the third row,
Oh, look, Crypto's got a book.
of course.
Crypto, Last
Last
Dog
Act
of
of
Krypton.
Krypton.
Oh, I'm buying that.
Beautiful.
Oh, that looks like a kind of a kid's book, but I might still get that. Sometimes just good kid stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense though for a crypto
And
book.
I have children. I'm,
Exactly.
so I'm sorry. Where's Iron Man? I just don't
It's in
see
the
it.
third row, so it's just under. Yeah, it's like right near the middle, next to the. It's in between
Oh, it's
Zatanna and
because
Catwoman.
the font's weird.
Hmm.
God, it just didn't even look like Iron. Okay, all right. My brain exploded.
Hmm.
Who
Yeah, I
is
just wondered
writing
who was
this?
writing it.
Spencer Ackerman.
I don't know who that is.
Uh-uh.
Well, hopefully it's cool.
Iron Man disassembled.
Tyler Sayers says that Iron Man has a sword now. Okay.
Everybody's got to have a sword at some point. It's very important.
Everybody's got a sword now.
Wow, Catwoman 77. I didn't know that volume had gone that long. I mean, big respect for DC for not starting everything over after 12 or 20 issues.
Yeah.
It is nice to see that.
You got
Uh,
Godzilla versus Avengers, I
Walking Dead
see.
Deluxe, we got to keep re-releasing that. Keep milking the cash cow.
Hey, Kirkman's gotta eat 3 meals a day, dude. He needs that Walking Dead money.
You know, the Avengers are just sick and tired of fighting their own rogues gallery. They got to go outside of their own universe twice in 1 week. They're like, we're going to fight aliens and Godzilla. Look at
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
They come out the same damn week. Look at that.
I also love
What do you
for
think of
these
these
books.
covers?
They're neat. I was just about to say I like that they're doing a different Japanese Godzilla design for each of them. I think that's really cool.
Oh, are they? That's cool.
Yeah, that's like a cool legacy thing. That's neat.
Yeah. Uh, Look, Marvel has a book. Maybe this is all ages. I don't know. Called Jeff the Land Shark. Look at that. Oh, and it's like it's not just like its own thing. It's got Marvel superheroes in the background.
Yes, so
Oh, it's
Jeff the Land Shark.
Marvel Rivals. I see.
Yeah, so Jeff the Land Shark, I think, is initially, I think like a Only on Lion comic, and he's in that Marvel Rivals game. Daredevil's not even in that game yet, but John, Dan, and I played that for a night. We played it for like a good 3 hours, and every time Jeff the Land Shark showed up on the other team, I instantly like zoned in, and I was like, "I'm killing this fake character. He's not a real Marvel character. Get out of here."
So Brandon, yeah, seriously, Brandon showed up in the comments here just to say I have so many children. Brandon, you don't even give a crap about comics. Get the hell out.
Brandon like instantly appears, and Cap's just like,
Just come in
gotta
and
bully him.
just come in and make fun of me about my kids. You don't even care about. Why the hell are you even here? I'm just kidding. Oh, look at this. Bring on the bad guys. Doom
Doom.
#1. So is this like an anthology thing? Oh yeah, part 1 of 7 villainous one shots. Bring on the bad guys.
What villains do you think they will do for this?
Um, I don't know. I bet one of them will be Green Goblin.
I was gonna say Green Goblin, Magneto are probably the
Mm,
two
could be
obvious
they
ones.
could do Galactus just because we got Fantastic Four
Y-
happening.
Yeah, if we're doing like specifically, main villains for big characters, like maybe you could do the Mandarin, Red
Hmm.
Skull, the leader.
That cover's cool.
It is cool.
Like I'm not disinterested in this. I'd check this out. And also, I just I say this a lot, but I just appreciate like complete stories in a single issue of comics.
Hmm.
And so
Yeah,
if they're
absolutely.
good one shots, it'll be kind of neat that they're doing that.
Okay, great. It's sad that I am dissing on Jeff the Land Shark. I'm sorry, but he's an industry plant.
So I previewed in issue of this. This is another one of these Spawn spin-offs, Rat City, and this looks like a futuristic thing. It's really weird,
Oh,
where it's
that
like
is
it's
weird.
Rat City, but it's in the future. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what
Huh.
that's about. So they got like this really
That's cool.
futuristic looking Spawn.
Yeah. I mean,
Pro-
that's cool. That I don't know. Did they ever do like a future spawn before?
Um, Dude, it's been so long. I don't think so.
Hmm.
But here's the futuristic Spawn suit. It's very, very 90s. This looks like Spawn 2099, Which now that I'm saying that, maybe I should buy it.
Definitely, definitely. I think that was an Epitaphs from the Abyss. I think that's part of the
Oh,
new
that's a cool title.
EC comics. I think Dark Horse maybe got the license to EC and are doing new books, but they're not just doing like Tales from the Crypt. Like they made their own kind of EC books, I think is what that is.
Okay.
But I could be wrong about that. Josh Doolittle was
Interesting.
telling me about it, and I would definitely be down to check those out if that's what that is.
Well,
That's also just a
Austin,
cool title.
we're at an hour and a half. Are you cool to do one more week?
To do what?
To go forward and look at one more week?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just checking in with the time here. Image has a book called Phantom Road. What is this? Jeff Lemire.
That's a cool cover.
It is. Dom is a long haul truck driver attempting to stay ahead of his tragic past when he stops one night to assist Birdie, who has been in a massive car crash. They pull an artifact from the wreckage that throws their lives into fifth gear. Suddenly, a typical midnight run has become a frantic journey through a surreal world where Dom and Birdie find themselves the quarry of, good word choice, of strange and impossible monsters. It's grindhouse horror meeting high concept supernatural fantasy. The first issue of
I
a
should check.
bold new miniseries from Jeff Lemire and Gabriel Hernandez Walta. Vision.
Yeah, I should check that out. That
That
sounds cool.
that sounds like an Austin thing. I will
Hmm.
I will throw this over here too, though, because that sounds interesting. I would try that out in digital.
Hmm.
Oh,
No, I'm down to check that out.
okay, Austin. Let's look ahead one
Yes.
more week and see what else is here. I'm fading a little bit. I'm gonna have to go to bed pretty soon, but we'll look at a little bit more. Um,
Yeah,
Ultimate Spider-Man's already at 18. Good lord.
that is crazy.
So who is on Superman right now? Joshua Williamson. I don't remember who started it.
With this one, like with the number one for the series, it was Joshua Williamson. That was in that
Oh,
Dawn
okay.
of DC.
I know. I'm just saying I can't. I don't remember. Like we read it, but
Oh, okay. Sorry, sorry. Yeah,
it's not coming to me. I just couldn't remember who wrote the start of it. Summer of Superman.
makes sense. Makes sense.
It does that is fine branding.
Hmm.
What is
Yeah, I think
Justice
that's.
League Unlimited?
Oh, yeah, they announced that recently. I think that's Wade doing that, but I could be wrong.
That looks like a Wade thing.
Yes.
That looks
Yeah,
like
Wade and Dan Mora.
old like '90s costumes. At least some of it.
When there's Batman Beyond is on that cover.
Is he? Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't
top
see
one.
him. He's
Yeah,
up in the cover up. He's up in the corner up
yeah,
here. What the hell is he
yeah.
doing there?
I don't know.
Batman Beyond
Time
shows up
displays.
in present day a lot, just like Spider-Man 2099. They can't stay away from our time period, Austin.
That new Hulk book I've heard is really good. I think it's continuing some from Immortal Hulk as being more of a horror thing.
Ooh, I'm excited about DC
That's neat.
Sonic number 4 because there's Metal Sonic. Although this is weird because they look like two completely different art styles, and like they're not even like they don't even belong on the cover together. Okay, Dan Schneider might be onto something here.
Dan Schneider might be what, sorry?
He might be onto something here about the problem with the art and the covers with that book. Um,
Oh, yeah.
I see Gunslinger Spawn 44. It's just preposterous. Harley Quinn 52. Predator versus Spider Man. You were talking about all the crossovers they're doing with.
Yeah, and just a weird crossover. I don't know why, like, Spider-Man would not be the first Marvel character I would go to for that, but if you're going to do it, Kraven the Hunter being there is, like, a must.
Yeah,
So I'm
that's
glad he's
definitely
there.
the thing to do there.
Yeah, exactly. I like at the top you have Absolute Wonder Woman, I guess, is going to fight a Minotaur. That's cool.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, you said
Yeah, you
great
got it.
things about that. I haven't started that book yet.
Yeah, we have my two favorite ones here because you have that and Martian Manhunter the same week.
Tyler says
So
Spider-Man versus Predator is surprisingly good. Well, I was like,
cool.
I would always be curious to see Spider-Man tackle someone from Batman's Rogues Gallery. So, because for me, Predator is just a Batman villain.
Yeah. The Department of Truth is another book that I've been meaning to check out. That's another Tinian one.
Okay.
Again, like another horror original that he's doing.
Wow, that's been going on for a while too.
Yeah, yeah, it has. Got that cool
Ooh, it's
Kennedy
a
cover.
conspiracy book.
Hmm.
I'm definitely curious about this. Yeah, I'll pull that down too. That looks really interesting. I wonder what the interiors are like. Is that does that book look as surreal on the inside as it does on the outside?
I'm not sure. Maybe his Dracula book, and obviously he's not the artist, but
Yeah,
his Dracula book is very surreal like that. So I could see that.
Spider-Man and Wolverine. I
Of
like
course,
what.
that's a very Todd McFarlane-y Spider-Man, and then
That's why I clicked on it. Yeah, the
yeah.
Wolverine looks weird, but I love the Spider-Man look there, and he's all busted up, or his clothes are all ripped up, and he's got hair coming out. I always like Spider-Man with hair coming out the top.
Oh yeah, that is cool.
That's always
Wolverine's got
cool.
like a Hellboy looking face on this cover.
Okay, but I'm immediately less interested in looking at this now that I know that Mark Guggenheim is writing it.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if I care anymore, Austin. I don't know about you, but
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Mark Guggenheim and all, but do I want to see him work on those characters? I don't know.
no, you don't. Oh, look, there's a Spider Boy book, and it's not amalgam. That's weird. I didn't even know that. I didn't know that was happening. So
Yeah.
I want to start. I kind of want to start buying Sonic again, but I got out of it for so long. So like I haven't read very much IDW Sonic, but I was collecting it, so I have up through like 36, and then I stopped. And I was looking into those the other day, and people online like to charge even more than cover for those. So I don't know if I'm ever going to catch up on that.
Hmm. Yeah, it sucks. You got Mr. Terrific Year One. Oh, Pharaoh
Feral. Uh,
with some oh my God, was the, Oliver and Company looking cat.
that's true. Yeah, that's a very Disney looking cover.
What if Oliver and Company got
The
rabies?
cats have made it into Pet City. Good job, cats. Way to go. Let's see what the premise is with this. This does not look at all like my thing, but a new horror from the creators of Stray Dogs. At first, I didn't even think this looked like a horror book, but it is clearly.
Yeah, I mean, it having like more of a cartoony art style might be cool.
Yeah, maybe so. I'll pull that down just out of morbid curiosity.
Yeah, yeah, that might be interesting.
It's like deceptively cutesy.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Like, oh, now it's been turned on its head. It's been perverted.
This also looks like it could be a conspiracy thriller, Undiscovered Country. I've heard
Or a
of this,
Star
but
Trek
I don't.
movie.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, that comes
Oh,
from a
Scott Snyder.
that's a Shakespeare quote. Oh well, and if it's creator owned Scott Snyder, it's probably pretty good.
Yes.
In this special
Oh,
oversized first issue, readers will journey into the near future and an unknown nation that was once the United States of America, a land that's become shrouded in mystery after walling itself off from the rest of the world without explanation over 30 years ago when a team I'm not sure if that was a sentence. When a team seeking a cure for a global pandemic breaches U.S. borders, they quickly find themselves in a struggle to survive the strange and deadly lost con. I'm immediately interested in that.
you know what? The second you pulled up that cover and it was like America cut off, I was like, oh, I have looked at this book because I've been meaning to check it out. Just like that Department of Truth one. I think I have both of those saved on my list. I actually think I maybe got both of them like amalgamed in my brain because I was thinking about that premise with that Department of Truth book.
That sounds really interesting.
That is cool. You also have Mr. Terrific Year One, Issue 2.
So yeah, I'm gonna check out some like off the beaten path, not superhero stuff that Image is doing. I've
Yeah.
got like 4 or 5 of those that I've pulled down here.
Oh yeah,
We're
Skybound the Mummy is ending that week. That's cool.
we're taking everyone down with us. What the heck is this? Another
What the
crazy.
heck is this?
After her mad scientist father is killed by the world's greatest spy, 13-year-old Annalise is left alone in the world, sort of. Her dead dad's robot bodyguard is following her around for some reason. Now Annalise has a choice. This sounds like an anime premise.
I was gonna
Try.
say this is like horror Big Hero 6.
Yeah, like that looks like it could be cool. That's not at all my thing, but
Yeah, that sounds neat. That immediately isn't my thing either, but it looks cool.
there's your Void Rivals. Have you been keeping up with them?
Yep. Yeah, no, it's been pretty sweet. They just introduced what was it? Oh, Wreck-Gar just showed up. The
Oh,
Junkians
you
from the
told me about that.
Transformers
Yeah, because you
movie.
sent me a
Yeah.
panel that looked really funny.
Oh
Because
yeah,
they
they
because they
do.
made a '60s Batman reference.
Yeah, somebody leaves and they're like, "Oh, we find out more about the same. We'll find out next week. Same bat time, same bat channel." And the person next to them who doesn't speak TV is like, "Why would we find out more then? That's so arbitrary."
So I'm a little curious about Medieval Spawn, just because the licensing with this is weird. I didn't think that McFarlane even had the rights to that character anymore because of litigation with Gaiman eons ago. And so I'm wondering if this is like a technically different character because the suit's totally different. And
Mhm.
he's just allowed to call this new character Medieval Spawn. Not to be confused with Dark Ages Spawn, um, which was
Yeah.
a cool book that I actually liked quite a bit when I was reading in Spawn year. But anyway, I always really liked Medieval Spawn, but I don't like this suit quite as well. But at least he's still got the giant Spawn face shield.
No, that's cool.
Okay, I like it better on
It's
this
very
cover.
Darksiders.
Yeah, it's like a cross between the old medieval Spawn suit and the uh the Dark Ages suit.
Hmm. Spawn is like a Darksiders clone would be cool. Like that feels like the right kind of game.
Right? Yeah,
Spawn.
that
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I hadn't had that thought until just the second, but yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, hack and slash Spawn. It's right there, and I don't know why we've never done it.
I don't know. What are
I've
you
never
doing,
actually played
Tad?
Darksiders. That is a hack and slash game, right?
Yeah, all three of them kind of have their own different style. Like they're very much kind of knocking off something that's big in the moment. But I've only played the first two, but they're both really cool.
Because years ago when I played, what is it? Um, I'm fading.
Oh,
I'm
Dante's
Dante,
Inferno.
that's what I was trying to say. Thank you. When I played Dante's Inferno, I was thinking Spawn the whole time. It's like part of the reason I played that was because it was like I want this for Spawn.
Yeah,
Thank you for bailing me out with that. I had a
no
brain
worries.
freeze and I just could not think of that.
Yeah, and then when you get Darksiders 1, you're in like Apocalypse Earth looking places with demons and angels, and then in the second one you're going to like different realms.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
I don't know, a lot of interesting things. I feel like we haven't even scratched the surface here.
Yeah, I heard that Out of Alcatraz book is good. I haven't
Okay.
had a chance to read it, but I've heard it's good.
Uh VR Troopers is starting. There's some Power Rangers fans that are really excited about that. I just don't like what
Yeah,
they're doing with that
crazy.
new Power Rangers book, so I can't get excited about that.
Yeah,
But I also
no, fair
wasn't a
enough.
fan of that show,
Hmm.
so that's a whole lot of whatever. I
Shadow of the Golden, I think Golden Crayon. That looks cool. Oh, and there's another Red Sonja Attacks Mars cover that also looks great.
oh yeah, look at that. Boy, if I was a fan of that character, I would buy all of these. That's so cool.
Yeah,
I
Red
mean,
Sonja.
they're all
Look at
neat.
this.
Come on
This is
now,
great.
they're all neat. Yeah, I like them
That,
all.
that's
They're
that's wonderful.
freaking
Yeah.
awesome.
Red Sonja's just killing it right now, man. Who
Oh,
decided 2025 was going to be her year?
all right. Well, anyway, I let's go ahead and wrap things up here, Austin.
Mhm.
Unless there's anything else you just really want to look at or talk about,
No, that's good with me.
there's like I said, I don't feel like we scratched the surface. There's just so much going on right now.
Yeah,
That's sort of the
absolutely.
point of this almost 2 hour stream is just
Mhm.
the, I feel like we're looking at a possible kind of renaissance right now.
Yeah, at least things are getting better.
They're getting
They're
better.
better than they were like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Well, I feel like you can, if things keep going the direction it looks like they're going, I think we might be able to call it a renaissance, even if Marvel never catches up. I think if every other company has really cool stuff and Marvel's still sort of lagging behind,
Hmm.
it'll be good enough we can still call it a renaissance or a pseudo renaissance.
I mean, we got to say that with the movies, and it was only Marvel. So,
Robert
yeah,
says we need Red Sonja versus Predator. That's also a good idea. But I feel like
yes.
Predator can mix with just about anything. You know, Predator is
I'm s-
basically Scooby Doo.
yeah. Well, I'm starting to think Red Sonja can mix with anything. Give me Red Sonja meets Jesus and Toxic Avenger. I'm
Oh,
down for that.
okay, but I mean, to be fair, you can mix Jesus pretty easily with anything, also.
Yeah, what would be like? What wouldn't work crossing over with Jesus?
Um,
Like Mars Attacks meets Jesus would be cool.
you know, I think
Predator
the answer
versus
to that
Jesus.
actually is Spawn. Because I have a
Nah,
hard time imagining like the actual biblical Jesus existing in that universe. He doesn't really fit with the like old lady god and the like hell and heaven that are just as bad as each other. And
no. I just imagine like Jesus walks up to Spawn and he's like, "Hey, you got a shoelace in your face," and then they both just go their own ways.
or they both die laughing.
Yeah,
There's just a full page spread of Al Simmons and Jesus cracking up together about the
it's
shoelace in his
just the end
face.
of Killing Joke, like
Yes,
holding each other laughing, and then like, it pans down.
Jesus visits Spawn in prison.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Perfect. It's
See,
wonderful.
even that you're like, it doesn't work. No, it does
No,
work.
it
We
does work.
found
Nope.
life
Nope. We solved it.
finds a way.
We we solved it. All right, well, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate you hanging out with us ridiculously late into the night. We're gonna bid you farewell, and like I said, I'm gonna be off most of next week, but we're gonna try to sneak in Hulk early next week. Because I don't want to wait a month on it, and we're not gonna be doing rewinds for the next month. So, we're pretty sure we're gonna be able to get that in toward the beginning of next week. So look forward to that, and. We'll let you know if something comes up and we have to go ahead and put it off, but hopefully we can still go ahead and knock it out.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
I have been prepping for it, so while it's still sort of fresh in my mind, I'm hoping we can get to it. But anyway, we'll see what happens. And in the meantime, appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. And I'm going to try to keep up with at least some new. I'm going to be pretty casual about it. I'm not going to have a full blown pull list, but I am going to keep looking at what's happening and check in on things and just sample stuff and try to learn who some of these new up and comers are.
Yeah, like this Scott Snyder and Jonathan Hickman.
Hickman. Appreciate you guys, and thanks for watching. I'm glad there was some interest in this. We'll see you guys again real soon. I was Captain Logan, and this was Austin, the Day Ghost.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye, guys. I like how you just kind of threw your hand away. You're like, whatever. Bye, everybody.